Again, look and then drop under to get the leg strong. The power of the bend, so you're exploding. So you're standing up here, trying to do this, lifting like I thought I would stay down here because whole body. Yep. Whole body, use the legs. Yep, right. Well done. Whole body movement, let's go. Drop the bum down. Yep. Work. Hold on.
Yeah, what's up? We're here at my strength and conditioning place. I'm here with Jared Braco. It's his conditioning, as you can see here on the JB. Yeah, and it's at the Old Smiths boxing facility here in London.
Fantastic, man. You're back in South Africa. You've been overseas for a while. So, is this guys you were working with before, or the landscape's changed a bit in the time you've been gone? So, how have you pieced this team together for your next fight?
Yeah, so just before I came back after my last fight for about a month, and then I was working with Jared with my strength and conditioning, because I found I needed that part of my game just to be implemented to have a little bit more strength, because I'm quite a lanky, wily sort of guy, so I just need a more brute force just to overpower a lot of the wrestlers, because most of the guys just want to take me down and hold me down and do their lay and pray game.
Speaking of that, seeing as that's come up, your first assignment in Brave obviously didn't go your way. It was exactly that sort of style, heavy sort of wrestling base as we used to from the Russians in that sort of contingent. What has that changed in you now? Like, obviously in Brave there's quite a lot of that, and there's quite a lot of that fight style. Yeah. So what steps do you take from here to kind of negate that sort of fight style?
Well, obviously work more wrestling, keep wrestling and wrestling. When I was there at Phuket Top Team, I was working with Rudy Roots as well. He's a brilliant wrestler, so I had some good guys to work with while I was there. Out here, I'm going to Attila, so I'm working with Attila. He's got a good Greco-Roman base, so he's helping me with my clinch game and the clinch fighting from a stand-up position to just negate them getting to my legs and push them off of the fence and so forth. Yeah.
That sort of offensive and defensive wrestling, it's quite a weird thing, especially when you're trying to play catch-up. I mean, we don't have wrestling at school and stuff like that, and we don't have these heavy wrestling systems. Do you think, for yourself personally as a mixed martial artist, are you focusing on wrestling as a whole, or more defensive techniques to kind of keep you out of the wrestling?
I'm focusing on wrestling as a whole, because just now I face a striker, and maybe I feel on the day I want to change it up, mix it up and get my takedown. I feel that I have like in my amateur days, I won a lot of my fights on the floor with ground and pound or you could choke. So I feel like if I sharpen up that skill of getting people down, I can cause them big trouble. And as I said, when I was training with Rudy back in Thailand, he said, why don't I take people down? Because I've got very good hip control against the cage and so forth. So I think I should just add it to my repertoire. That my whole pro career I've been thinking, no, stay on the, try keep it standing. But I think to be an evolved mixed martial artist, you need all areas of your game to be tight. And I think I've been focusing on it throughout my career just a little bit, some takedowns, but not as much as I am now. So I think to get better at wrestling, you need to wrestle. So
100%.
Yeah.
Write that down, kids.
Yeah.
Nice. You mentioned Thailand in there. So what I want to ask you is just to give us a breeze through that journey, how it ended with the EFC, what was the thought process going to Thailand. Have you moved to Thailand permanently? What's the deal?
Well, I was going to move to Thailand, but financially it seems easier for me out here. I've got better resources out here. So my whole thing is I'm going to be going to Thailand and coming back here a lot. So I was there, but this camp, because when I was in Thailand now for the last 6 weeks, it's very tropical, the weather, and I got really sick, and there's staph infection and there's flipping pink eye going around and all sorts. So you never know what could happen, and I could end up being sick for 2 weeks in the middle of my camp.
Sure.
So that's what sort of hindered me this one. and I wanted the altitude of Johannesburg as well to get my cardio to top level. And then the next thing is, so that fight's on the 15th, and then Brave's back here 3 weeks later in South Africa.
Sure.
And I'm looking to get on that card, but nothing is finalized yet. But more than likely, if all goes as planned, I'll be on both those, the 15th and on Brave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just brief us through the process of jumping ship from EFC to Brave.
Okay, I just found EFC financially weren't doing. They went back on my contract on what I was supposed to be being paid, and like I'm 32 years old now. I got a wife and stuff. I do this properly. I do it every day. I train every day. I do stunts on the side. I do graffiti like on the back here for extra money, but to be a pro fighter on this level, you have to train at least 3 times or twice a day. So it's like a full-time occupation. Plus, you need your recovery because that all goes into the game. So you need all of that. So you can't be working a 9 to 5 and trying to get that in and still think you're going to perform on top levels with these other guys. You know.
Sure. So the major basis was obviously a better financial option for you with Brave.
Yes.
Obviously, add throw in the get to see a bit of the world, and I'm sure
that's also very cool. And meeting and fighting guys from different countries and stuff, testing my skills against them. Yeah.
Cool. You mentioned the stunt work and all the other stuff. So just brief us through what the hobbies consist of for Stephen Goncalves.
Okay, yeah, so with stunt work, I've worked on a couple movies like Black Sails and Troy and Grimsby Brothers. And the way I got into that was through my martial arts. They do a lot of fight scenes. So I ended up living in Cape Town for a while and basically worked on film. And this was a way to get through my amateur career so I could be working and training, because you don't do stunts every single day. And you got a lot of free time in between. And what they recommend in stunts is that you get good at martial arts. So it was a way for me to train and work and get through my amateurs to become a professional until it was economically viable to focus more full-time on fighting and do stunts as a side thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And just the last topic I want to go through, just what is the experience with Brave been like? Obviously, I mean, they're a young organization, but they've come out quite hard and be quite big, very bold moves and stuff. So what's the experience been like from a fighter's point of view for yourself?
When I went to Jordan, it was amazing the way they looked after us, the professionalism of the event, the way it was set up. It was very good. The orchestration of it, the food and the hotel was great as well. Yeah, it's just it's a very tough field. It's a step up from EFC, I think, in terms of level of competitors. And this is exactly what I wanted for my career, is in order to test me and grow and get better, is I got to fight stronger people and better people and get better and adapt to the game.
Cool. Your next opponent is, I actually just got a message as I was coming in here, struggled to find much information about him.
I think it's Ilia Taporia. He's from Spain. He's got a mean guillotine, very good on the ground, has some tight boxing as well. Obviously, as with most of my opponents, I'm way taller than the dude. Got way more reach. So obviously, as usual, the game plan is to use that, implement that. But other than that, like, I feel comfortable everywhere. Like I'm saying, I'm getting ready with my wrestling, with everything. My boxing's actually feeling crisper. I'm feeling stronger than I've ever felt. So I'm ready for him in any avenue.
Okay.
And I'm bringing the fight to him as well. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
And just by chance, if a couple of Brave fans want to search your name, maybe they pop onto this video, what would your message be to them, what they can expect from you on fight night?
You can expect power, tenacity, ruthlessness. I'm in here to avenge what I've been and create myself and forge my legacy as I move forward. That's what it's about.